Always a pleasure to talk a little bit about Avondale and the Avondale experience as we have it. So the first picture I have here is a picture of students going to Cambodia. These are education students that are going to Cambodia, but we have the same happening in every department. In a month and a half, we are taking some students to Mauritius to be able to do some evangelism in Mauritius. Other students are going to Melbourne to do some evangelism in Melbourne. In fact, we invited Neil, your previous pastor, to be part, who is now our colleague, to be part of the trip to Mauritius. And he says, no, he's got something more important to attend to while we are going. It's his story to tell. I'm not going to tell the story of why he's not coming with us to Mauritius, but it's a happy story. But we are taking students to different places in the world. The reason why we are doing that, especially with the seminary, is we want people to understand things cross-culturally and understand that we have to adjust cross-culturally. Today you go to our main cities, Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, and you realize you can find anybody from anywhere in the world. You just have to flip the globe and put a dot on it. You will find somebody from there. So everywhere in the world you will have people. So these urban centers have become now a melting pot for the world. And so we are taking our students to different places so that they can appreciate different cultures. I think there is something else also that happens when we take them to those different places. They realize they can still call Australia home. They realize how good we have it here in Australia. You can see in the next picture that a big emphasis is on welcoming students. So this is welcoming students and praying for those students as they come to Avondale. So who are we at Avondale? Part of our ethos is that we are a Seventh-day Adventist Christian organization. Prayer will always be big with us. And so as the students come, they have the deans there praying with them. And that's something that happens regularly. In fact, let me tell you, I've got pictures here, but I had a son who is now a pastor in Victoria who studied in another institution, counseling. He studied in an institution in Victoria because he wanted to stay close to his mom's cooking. He loved the mom cooking. He reckoned mom's cooking is better than restaurant cooking. So he wanted to stay home. When we moved to Avondale, he moved to Avondale also. And he said that in that university where he was just a number. He was a student number. At Avondale, he was recognized, loved, cared for. So that's his story to tell. So these are some of the things that happen that shows how much the people that work care for the students. So there is a picture of people on the Lake Macquarie campus. Now, I don't know if you've heard, but dorms are free this year. So if your grandchild is coming next semester, they won't have to pay for the dorms next semester. That's exciting to be able to be there. We've been able to secure a donor that wants people to have that Avondale experience, and I've said that they will make the dorm. Those donors are making the dorms free. So let me show you a couple of more pictures. This is a picture that I am pretty happy about, because not only we want the students to have a spiritual experience, but the students themselves are engaged in having a wonderful spiritual experience. When you look at Big Camp, some of our students were leading worship at Big Camp. When they had the Big Campori somewhere down border of New South Wales and Victoria, our students were leading worship there. Students are engaged in the preaching, the proclamation, and using their talents and gifts to be of service to God. Here they are singing, so they just went outdoors, just started singing during the week of spiritual emphasis. And none of those students are theology students. None of them are theo students. I can see in that picture music students, I can see art students, I can see education students. So all the different groups of students are there. I think some of you came for the Easter program at Avondale. Anybody went for the Easter program? The church was packed. Our students again ran a musical on the Easter weekend. Now, since I need maybe to go to the youth, and there are many things, as you would say, where you will hear stories. Unfortunately, a lot of times the bad stories get told more than the good stories. And one of the stories that you might hear is the students' numbers are going down. It's true, our student numbers are going down, and again, that's a time of trial for Avondale, and we need your prayers. Avondale is the best university in education, so that's a recent report, and the number 2 in nursing. So in nursing, for a number of years, we've been either number 1 and number 2. What all universities around the world have found, that post-COVID, 2 sectors that were deeply affected are education and nursing. So the numbers in all those universities in education and nursing have gone down. And because the flagship offering of Avondale to Australia, where we number 1 and number 2, is nursing and education, the numbers there also have gone down. There is another reason for numbers going down. If you've tried to get a passport lately, you found that it is almost impossible. I mean, I had to go queue in Sydney to be able to get the passport of my boys. The whole day I queued down in Sydney to get the passports of my boys. The government has a backlog of visas and is not able to give as many international student visas as we would expect. And so nursing especially has a lot of international students that we haven't been able to have because of that backlog of visas. So COVID has been very bad and in student numbers and international numbers. So we keep on praying. The good thing is that we have wonderful people working in our finances, that even though the student numbers are down, they are still barely able to pay the bills. So we're not like as in the red as we should have expected, as some, like for example, Melbourne Uni, I think, had to stop their building programs because so many students are not coming. So if you're looking for a place where spirituality is prioritized, then Avondale is a place. If you are looking for a place where student experience is prioritized, by the way, we've been voted number 1 in student experience among all the universities of Australia. So when those numbers came out, we were looking, and they are number 1, Avondale University, best university for student experience. So if you're looking for student experience, Avondale is again your place to be. And then if any one of you are considering nursing, teaching, of course, theology, Avondale is a place to be. In nursing and education, you're going to the best university in the land. So already this year, we have more students on campus. Already this year, we have more students on campus. We live in a reality where more and more students want flexibility. So people want to live in Melbourne and study in different places of the world. So that's the landscape now. Distance education is a landscape. And Avondale is also prepared for that. We've been at it for a while now. So for those that are on campus, it's a wonderful experience. The student numbers on campus is much higher this year, but we also acknowledge that there will always be a market for distance students.